We got it. Thank you, Sarah. Hey guys, thank you so much for your patience. We were having some technical problems getting on. So can I get everybody to sign on? I know you were waiting on us thinking maybe it wasn't going to happen, but we are here. So we need everybody to sign back on so we know you're there. Here they come. Hey, Thomas, Jalen. We're going to wait for a few others to get on. There's Joshua. We've got several hot topics that we need to talk about today. So we want to wait to and give everybody time to get back on. It's Christian, David, Jean, Sheriff. Rima, Wanda. Mm-hmm. Those of you that are already on, if someone is there with you, make sure that you let us know that they're there also. If they haven't signed on to their own. LVAS. Who is that? LVAS? Who's that? I'm here.
Liz. Liz, is that you under LVAS?
Melissa, Wanda, there's Christina and Sarah. Patia and Nick. Just a couple more seconds, guys, and we'll go ahead and get started. Rima and Melissa again. Passion, Shantae. Sarah said there's a bunch of TPL still on the other live stream video. Well, a bunch of people still on the live stream on the other one because we did have to start a new one because we were having problems connecting. If anybody can text those people and let them know to start a new one, that would be helpful. April. I messaged the other video. Thank you so much, Sarah. We'll give them a chance to get on and then we'll get started. There's LaShonda. Randy, Chrissy, and Floyd are here. Thanks, Cheris. It's Christy Holman. This is Brian. This is Holman.
Oh, I was looking at that one.
Okay.
We're looking at two different ones.
I see. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. You can see that Jocelyn and I are going to be doing the live stream today. John's tied up in a meeting, and we agreed, got drafted to do this. But anyway, one of the reasons why we're waiting till so many people have an opportunity to get on, because that's one of the things that we wanted to talk about. First of all, these live streams have been going on for really about a year now. I think we started, was it Jocelyn, last March? We started because of COVID doing the live stream. And we want to make sure that we're always staying in touch with you and giving you guys an opportunity to stay in touch with us and have any questions or concerns you have addressed, but also just to get information out to you one way or the other. And we're going to talk about one of those other ways shortly, or Jocelyn will. But I do need to stress that these live streams are mandatory. Jocelyn, as you can probably see, is taking attendance. It's not an option for you to be on these live streams unless you have gotten previous approval not to be on. Again, the live streams are important. And are important and mandatory. So again, if you have not gotten approval to not be on the live stream, then there will be a disciplinary action. This is mandatory. Was there a message there? Okay, with that, Jocelyn, you want to go about vaccinations tomorrow?
Hi, everyone. Tomorrow, which is Wednesday, the 7th of February, will be our um, second round of our COVID vaccine. So those of you that were here with us in January and you got your first one, make sure you've signed up with me and or Ashley to get your second vaccine. We think we have everybody. We think the schedule is straight. So if you haven't heard from one of us, or if we've reached out to you and you haven't got back to us, please make sure you do today, because the second round for your COVID vaccine is for tomorrow. It's from the hours of 10 and 4, but we have made a schedule and we're trying to keep with it. Also, some of you have signed up for your first round. That's a wonderful thing. We're glad that you guys are concerned about making sure you are covered with the vaccine. When you come tomorrow, we will give you the date for the second one. So those of you that have signed up to get your first COVID vaccine tomorrow, we will let you know tomorrow while you're there when you come back for your second. While I'm still talking with you, Ms. Deb talked about making sure that you get onto every live stream that is mandatory. Another thing that's mandatory at Lehigh Valley Adult Services is reading and responding to emails. Because our company is growing larger and larger and larger, weekly, daily, monthly, it's not easy for all of us to get to every single person face to face. I can't reach out to you. I can't shake your hand. And because of COVID, obviously, I can't shake your hand. But we can't get to everyone on a daily basis, face to face. Whether you're working here, you're working at different hours, you're working different days, or whatever. So we speak and we communicate through email. Most often, we send out at least an email or two to the whole company per week. Email blasts, they're called. And sometimes you get more than one a week. I know by who's responding that you're not reading them. So please make sure you share with others and you and you check yourself, check your emails. Those of you that are in residential, that is the way you get your schedule. So if you're not checking your emails, there is no way you can know what your schedule is and where you're supposed to be and when you're supposed to be there. The brand is Pfizer, Fatia. So make sure every day, whether you're working and whether you're not working, as we talk in the new training classes, we tell them to put your email on your phone. So every time you get an email from Lehigh Valley Adult Services, your phone will bing. You'll know exactly that we're sending you something, whether it's from HR, whether it's from John himself, whether it's from Vicki, whether it's from another coworker just wanting to enlighten you on something, whether it's from the program managers that you work with, whether it's from your director, whether it's from your team leader, whether the team leader needs to say something from team leader to team leader. It's a must that you check your emails.
Why don't you give them some examples of some of the emails that have just gone out in the last week or so that you still don't have some responses from?
Okay, I'm going to talk fun and then I'm going to talk business. We sent out yesterday 2 emails congratulating 2 employees on promotions. Who can tell me who those 2 employees were? So no one knows? Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Rima. So anyone in residential, did you know that Jose and Naomi got promotions? Thank you, Tisha. Thank you, Jean. Yes, okay, wonderful. You guys saw them. Awesome. All right, so also last week, business-wise, I and Ms. Deb sent out emails in reference to mandatory information that we need to have from you to keep your files updated. We always have to do an audit on our files because when someone comes, the state comes in to audit us, we have to have current information on you. So we're not just asking for this information just to get on your nerves, just to bug you, just to be in your business. If you are to work here at Lehigh Valley Adult Services, there is information that is a must, that is current information that is a must that we must have from you. So one of the things that we sent out was for you to sign the Ask, Listen, and Respect pledge. That went out over 2 weeks ago. And out of the number of employees we have, we still only have 3/4 of the employees. So some of you still have not turned in that pledge. It's been available here in the office. It's been available through email. Some of the team leads brought them to their houses to make sure that they had them for their staff, and we're still not getting them all in. The other thing, yes, I see some of you talking about April and Shante, the driver's license. That's more important than anything else than even the pledge. In order for you to work for Lehigh Valley Adult Services, you must have a current driver's license for the state that you live in. So if you live in Pennsylvania, your driver's license should be a Pennsylvania driver's license, unless you just moved to Pennsylvania in the past week or two. But if you've been living here 30 days or more in the state of Pennsylvania, you are to have a current Pennsylvania driver's license. If we do have a few employees that live in New Jersey, so we expect their driver's licenses to be current driver's licenses for the state of New Jersey.
Can I just interject just a minute? If you do live in New Jersey, like Jocelyn said, that we're okay to have a New Jersey's driver's license, but your personal information in our files should say New Jersey. So they can't be one New Jersey and one's Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they have to match. They have to be the same. So again, with the licenses, I can name some names and probably look on here and see some names of people who still have not turned in their driver's license information. And because of that, you're about to be suspended. It's going to happen. It's coming. If you have not turned in a current driver's license to my email, Jocelyn F at Lehigh Valley Adult Services, you're about to be suspended from work. So make sure you get it to me. Richard, I probably do have it. I would have to go back and look at my list to see who I have and I don't have. But I do have most of them. But there are quite a few that I've even called you on your phone and you have not answered my call. You have not answered my emails. So I have now turned it over to those above me. And whatever happens, happens, which is suspension.
We cannot, for insurance reasons for the business, for this company, guys, allow you to drive our vehicles or even transport our consumers unless you have a valid New Jersey, if you live in New Jersey, or Pennsylvania driver's license. So it's got to happen. Jocelyn sent out the email blast, and we did give you a deadline to have those in. And like she said, some of you to date. I think we're past that deadline date.
We're way past it. The 12th was the deadline.
Okay. So some of you still don't have them in. And we see you asking, did I send mine in? Did I send mine in? We don't have that list to check them right now. So Jocelyn's trying to take notes. But if you are concerned whether you sent yours in or not, please get back with her at her email address and confirm or verify that you have sent yours in. If you don't drive, we at least need a Pennsylvania ID on file. But this is mainly for driver's license. But for your personnel file, we need a Pennsylvania ID. I want to say that it's good to see some of the new hires in from the last orientation class. I saw a couple on there. Tisha, I saw you, and I think there were a couple others I saw. So glad to see that you're getting on and you're hearing all this information. And like we said, it's mandatory, first of all, but we will also, this is our way of communicating with you on a regular or routine basis and making sure that you have an opportunity to ask questions or express some of your concerns. Let me just kind of piggyback off of what some of the things that Jocelyn said just a minute ago as far as congratulations to the promotions. She mentioned a couple, Jose, who was just made program manager, Naomi, who was just promoted to assistant residential director, Alicia, Julian, who was promoted to client services. Julia had been not Julia, but Alicia had been interning for a while, and we have made her internship permanent. Now she is a client service coordinator. And then John may have already done this, but just in the event he didn't, we want to welcome our new not registered, but LPN that is on staff in clinical services, who is Barry Oliveri. So I just wanted to make sure, I try to make sure that we send out email blasts to you so you know who the promotions are happening and who the new people on staff are. And thanks to all of you that take the time to congratulate these people. And we also had some birthdays this month. I know Liz was one, and I think that's
Miss Deb was one, February 1st.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that was what, no, there was another one. There was another one also. I can't, it was Liz and there was someone else. I sent you a happy birthday message either way. I can't remember who it is now. Matter of fact, if I look at my board, there, I can see. Maybe I'll see before it's over. Okay, guys, just moving on. I want to talk about one other hot topic for this live stream, and that's the on-call protocol. First of all, who can tell us how many hours prior to the beginning of your shift are you supposed to inform on call that you're not going to be able to make it? How many hours? Rima, I see you were the first one to say, here they all come. 4 hours. Robert said three with question marks. It is 4 hours. Guys, 4 hours prior to your shift, you should make sure that you are informing the on-call that you're not going to be able to make it. We've had situations where some of you, and I'm just going to say the other day we had one where this person had a migraine. I personally sympathize with that because I suffer with migraines. They can be debilitating. But this person kept thinking, I can make it, I can make it, I can do it. It got closer to or past the 4 hour time frame for them to come in. So they weren't able to make it. They finally did call. They actually even before called the person that they were relieving to let them know that they weren't sure they were going to make it. Then they called the on-call. But one of the reasons why I bring all that up is, first of all, so we all know it's 4 hours prior to the shift. But those of you that are on the on-call list as far as having the on-call for the week, or even the supporters, let's operate with compassion and respect. Now, we all know that there are times when we have, what would I call them, for lack of a better word, notorious, or those people that are consistently calling out or calling in saying, I'm going to be late. And we know who those people are. It's like so-and-so's calling. We know what they're calling for before we even take the call. Either they're not coming or they're going to be late. But there are some people that never call out. There are people, that we know are just our loyal employees. They're not going to call out. They're not going to be late. If we ask them to stay over, whatever we ask of them, they're trying to do it. Let's look at the big picture and be respectful and compassionate where necessary and when necessary. But that's working both ways. So whoever has the on-call, and those of you calling out, you've got to know that the people with the on-call phone, they have a certain period of time where if you're calling them, it should be 4 hours, but sometimes you don't give them 4 hours. But they have to act very quickly as far as making sure that they can get coverage for the shift that you're calling out for, or the shift that you're going to be late for. So what I'm trying to say to you in a nutshell is the respect has to work both ways. The supporters are the people that have the on-call, is treating people with respect. As I've talked to a couple of people about this, they said, well, I wasn't disrespectful, or I didn't yell, or I didn't say whatever it was. But understand that a person's perspective is also their reality. Maybe that wasn't your intent. Maybe you were frustrated because you had gotten 3 other calls prior to this particular person calling. But we just have to remember to be respectful to each other. And that's not always happening. But again, on the flip side of that, there are times when we just cannot take call outs. We cannot accept them. I mean, you must call, but you have to know that it's not an approved or an accepted call out also. And that's usually when we're understaffed or when it's during holidays, because we know that inevitably people are going to start calling out. And another thing, guys, don't think it goes unnoticed that we know Friday payday, people are going to start calling out. Why that happens, we don't know, but we know that on, like you said, sometimes it's Friday period, Jocelyn, but Friday payday, we know that a lot of you and some of you are, like I said, notorious for consistently calling to say that you won't be in. And we have some that are, it's not only on Fridays, but it'll be a Friday and Saturday. It's 2 days in a row. Guys, we are aware of this. I mean, attendance is getting ready to be held. You're going to be held accountable for that. Some of you have gotten very, very lax, and you know what? We can put it on ourselves too. We've become lax as far as enforcing it. Some of you within your 90-day period, probationary period, are breaking all kind of violations, leaving early, calling in late, or not calling at all. No calls, no shows, calling out. Attendance is getting ready to be enforced. So again, we all need to be respectful toward each other, and we all need to consider the repercussions that your calling out has. That means we have to find coverage, somebody that's able to come in and cover your shift. And remember that the consumer is our main priority. It's the reason why we all are here. So there's a question, how about emergencies? And we understand that's a good question, Shaquem. We understand emergencies. We know that they're going to happen. And what I've asked some of the people, and now I'm saying it to all of you that are on the on-call list and their supporters, that let's look at the big picture. One of the conversations I had with one of the people that had the on-call a while ago was, the person calls out. This is a very good staff member, someone that's been loyal to the company. You have to do what you have to do in time, respectfully, but double back and check with that person. You know, are you okay? Is there anything that you know you need from the company? How can we help you? I mean, showing some compassion. We talk about being Lehigh Valley Adult Services family. Let's act more like family. Let's act more respectfully. So hopefully I answered your question. Again, we know emergencies are going to happen, and I'm asking the on-call people and their supporters to just be more compassionate and respectful and considerate. So those emergencies can be considered. Were there any other questions? If it's after 3 p.m., let it be. I don't understand, Kayla Lamont. If it's after 3 p.m., let it be. I don't know what that means. Don't understand that question, Kayla. If you can give me a little more information. Chronic callers. Thank you, Sarah. Chronic callers. Thank you. That kind of takes away that notorious word that I used. I like working on payday, said Kayla. Saves money. Yes, you're right. No. I tried to call out on if time, but I still had to work. And sometimes that's going to happen. Richard is saying he tried to call out, and I think he said one time, but he still had to work. If it's unaccepted, that will happen. If we can't find coverage, you're right. We still have to make sure those consumers are taken care of. So that could definitely happen. That was for how many hours after? Trying to put Kayla's two pieces together.
If it's after 3 p.m., let it be. That was for how many hours after? She was answering someone else's question.
Oh, okay. So guys, if you have any questions or concerns when it comes to on-call, let's hear them now so we can try to address them. And again, we want you to be respectful to the process, first of all, by giving us a 4-hour notice if it has to happen. And also for the people that are on-call duty to be respectful to you. sometimes you can kind of set the tone or set the pace or the environment for people's responses or reactions. So if we just all try to be respectful, then I think nobody walks away with hurt feelings or feeling like they've been disrespected. Were there any other questions there?
So she fixed it. What she was saying. She says if it's after 3 p.m., don't bother calling. The 3 p.m. is after the 4-hour window.
Okay.
So she was
okay. Thanks, Kayla, for that. Okay, we're going to take, what's that? Can you review the protocol for on-call to a client having behavior? Right.
So if you're so Charlene, is your question that if a client or consumer is having behaviors and you call the on-call, your question is what should happen then? What should happen is whoever has the on-call and you tell them what is going on with the client, then they should be reaching out to the clinical team, whether it's whoever the behavioral specialist is that's on schedule for that week, or the clinical person that's on schedule for that week. They have been, because they don't have, on the schedule that they have, now that's a good question. Maybe we need to change that. On the schedule that they have, the first number that they have is the on-call for residential. If it is a behavior situation, I guess I'd have to go back to starting to talk to Ms. Deb. I talked to John or Vicky to see if we can get permission to make that then their first call. So they have to make then the judgment call on to which is which.
Which they should call first.
Yes. And then the residential on. Yes. And then the residential on-call tells them to call the, yes, that's what it's supposed to be right now. But if you're saying to change that, then I have to ask first. I can't.
And you're right, because every staff member may not make the right call. They may think they should call the behavioral specialist, and it may not be a behavioral specialist, but when it's put on the residential, everybody gets it. Right. When it goes to clinical, it's a short list of people that are getting that call. So residential means that it's on the thread, everybody's going to get it. So a lot of this John and Vicky don't need to see until they feel like they're ready to see it. Some of it they do need to see right away. So with the residential on-call part, then everybody sees it, and a call can be made.
Yes, Shirley. When it's called on the residential phone, the information gets put on the residential thread, but everybody that's in clinical or behavioral supports also gets that same thread. So all houses also have clinical on-call on the whiteboard.
Yes. That was for Charlene also. Oh, that was April. Yes, April. They should. I mean, yes. Every house should have all the information that's needed. So if there's something that you feel is needed and is not being given to all the staff, then they're operating with a deficit. So yes, that is something they would need to have.
If there's a house that doesn't have it, you need to let us know. It should be available in all houses. The on-call number for residential, the clinical number, and the behavioral supports number. So if your house does not have it, whatever house you're working in as a DSP, you need to let us know. Sarah's putting it on there now. There's the clinical on-call number right now. Right. Make sure it gets posted in your houses. If team leaders that are on here, program managers, directors, make sure it gets into all of the houses.
Are there any other questions or concerns that anyone has? Anything else you want to talk about? And these were good, guys. We need to make sure we get these out here and everybody understands. Yes. And again, especially a lot of the new hires that are just getting on and getting involved in these types of conversations.
Charlene just added the number also, so you can see what Charlene said and what Sarah said. Those numbers should be posted in all houses. Thank you, Richard.
I agree, Charlene. On-call numbers should be also kept in the grab-and-go bag.
It's a book. Yes.
Grab and go. Yes.
Is Ashley or Alicia or Melissa on here? Are those numbers in the grab and goes? Client services? Okay, we can talk about it later.
You know, I was in a meeting earlier today, guys, with Charlene Gondon and the clinical team, and there was a team building meeting, which I thought was very, very good idea for Charlene to initiate, and I wanted to join just to make sure that they were being supported. But in this meeting, Charlene read a poem that definitely resonated with me. And because it's Black History Month, because we usually try to start our meetings with mission moment, and for many reasons. I just think just because we're a company that's growing and changing as we grow, some people are very good with change, some people are not. Some people feel supported and some people do not. For you that don't feel supported, reach out to us and let us know how we can support you, what we need to do differently. And we might even initiate some type of vehicle. We used to have an employee suggestion box and it just seemed like it was never used and kind of faded away. So we need to initiate some type of vehicle for you to get with us. But the emails, like Jocelyn stressed earlier, is always available. You can always contact HR if you feel like you need some direction or some instruction. But anyway, getting back to the meeting that I was in with Charlene, and Charlene, with your permission, and I hope you're giving it to me, I just want to share the poem that you shared with your group. I just thought this was amazing and very timely. And the name of the poem, guys, is Alone. And it goes like this. Lying thinking last night how to find my soul a home where water is not thirsty and bread loaf is not stone. I came up with one thing and I don't believe I'm wrong. That's nobody, but nobody can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone, nobody, but nobody can make it out here alone. There are some millionaires with money they can't use, that wives run around like banshees. Their children sing the blues. They've got expensive doctors to cure their hearts of stone, but nobody can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone, nobody, but nobody can make it out here alone. Now, if you listen closely, I'll tell you what I know. Storm clouds are gathering, the wind is going to blow. The race of man is suffering, and I can hear the moan. Because nobody, but nobody can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone, nobody, but nobody can make it out here alone. This poem, like I said, Charlene read this morning. Charlene, I thank you so much. This is so timely and an example of nobody can make it out here alone. I wasn't prepared to read this. I know the poet who wrote it, Maya Angelou, but it was so timely that Charlene again shared it with her group. I happened to be there, was invited to their meeting, and everything happens for a reason because I walked away with this point that I could share with you today. And if you're out there and you're feeling alone, when we send out messages and we say from your LVAS family, we're not just saying that. That is not just a cliche. We are family, guys, in the work sense, however you conduct yourself to be a part of this family. So just know that you're not alone. I don't know, do we have any other questions that we need to address? Guys, we'll give you 2 or 3 seconds to send any other. No one with LVAS is alone. We are a family. That's from Charlene. Charlene, I so agree. And thank you so much. I did this without your permission, but I thank you for sharing this. You gave it. Thank you. Thank you, Charlene. This was so timely. And I hope you guys really got something from it. If anybody wants a copy, we'll definitely send it to you. I happen to, I'm going to make sure I use it over and over again. It really, like I said, resonated with me today. So prayerfully, it does resonate with you also, and you take it to heart. David, you like the story? I do too. Rest in peace. Thomas says, I agree. It's been a few years now that she's passed away, but she definitely left an impact, which is what we're hoping that we all will do, is leave an impact. April, yes, you can get a copy. Actually, April, I think I'm going to get an opportunity to actually hand you one face to face. So we'll see. But either way, yes, we'll make sure you get a copy. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your time. Remember, the live streams are mandatory. So Tuesday
At 2 o'clock. Be there.
if you think of anything after we sign off, you can always, thank you, Sarah. You can always contact HR, send us an email. Let us know your email works if you've never emailed us before. If you need anything that where we can support you in, we're here. Thanks, guys.